right. Yeah. One day I'm going to have this all figured out. Let's wait for people to come in. Oh, someone liked it. Someone liked it already. Someone's in. Is everybody in? Is everybody in? Got a beautiful view of the sunset here in Glade Springs. Pete, good day, sir. Wow, we got a bunch of people in already. Hit those like buttons when you're coming in. Don't make me sound like a YouTuber, but it really does help. I know that sounds so cliche, but y'all don't understand what they do to us. Jenny, what up? Clown College, 6 o'clock. I love that name. Man, it's a beautiful day out here. And these fools got their trucks running. I don't know what that's all about. Like, you don't need to have your truck on. You don't need heat right now. Although I was checking the weather, like all good truckers should. And they're talking crazy talk about snow in the morning here. I hope to be out of here. Man, it's beautiful here at this truck stop. I'm glad I stayed here. 6 for 6. I like that. 6 people in, 6 likes. You all are good people. Last of the free soda I got down in Florida. Yeah, Michael, catching that live. Well, I actually advertised it, and I actually went out of my way to keep my schedule. Funny story. Hey, Alan. Good to see you. So man, this is like a whole story. Where are we going to begin? Where should we begin? Look at what's happened in the last couple of days. It's been insanity. It's been insanity, folks. Should we start at the very beginning? I can never... The way you have your name, Six Sleeper, I think that's what it is. Oh. No, okay, yeah, I got it. You guys are great. So you're at night. Sync Semper Tyrannis. See? I just I can't make it out on the screen. Old eyes. Okay, let's start. I don't know how far back to go, so we'll go back to yesterday morning. I woke up, probably like many of you, went to check my phone, and my phone wasn't working. 0330. This put a panic in me. How am I supposed to know if I could deliver this load early? Because my appointment time was at 1300, and I wasn't having that. I wanted to drop it immediately, and my phone wasn't working. So I spaz out because when I first went solo, one of the first weeks I was solo, it's probably the first month. I was probably solo for I was solo for a minute. I don't know. My phone died. Horn dog, hey bud. Yeah, I was. Wait. Who was this? I vaguely remember seeing a fellow of your resemblance there. I was at the bar. I wasn't at a bar. I was at the post office in Farmville. And I was invited to somebody's house for a Christmas get-together there. Interesting. So, going back to last year, I'm driving and my phone isn't working. However, I was in Jersey going to see my kids, so I parked my truck behind the Home Goods where I park my truck when I'm home, and I went straight over to the AT&T store. It turned out my SIM card was bad and I got a new SIM card. Fast forward to yesterday morning, I thought maybe something similar happened. Problem is, I got no phone now. How am I going to Google where the AT&T store is? I can't even park my truck and call an Uber because I have no cell service. See the dilemma? I panicked. I got to my drop. You're supposed to call the receiver and he's supposed to give you a line number and a door assignment. And I just had to go in the old-fashioned way. Found my way into the warehouse. Told him what was going on. He gave me my door assignment. I unloaded. Then my DM tells me I'm past due on a PM on my truck. So I had to go get an oil change. I said I don't have a phone. Something wrong with my phone. And that's when they informed me AT&T's whole network was down because our Qualcomms work off of AT&T, but ours were working because I don't know what the Wi-Fi uses, but I know if you take this tablet out of the truck, it'll go to an AT&T cellular network. So I put in to go to the Love's, the closest Love's. It says it's 19 miles. Mind you, I'm in Winston-Salem. So all you truckers know, any of the big cities, Winston-Salem, Richmond, especially Atlanta, there's no truck stops around there. You have to go way out of the city, 30, 50 miles. So this one says it's 19 miles to the Love's. But once you hit navigate, it recalculates, and now it's 35 miles or so. And of course, it's not on they don't take me on the highway. It takes me through all the farm roads. Right. I remember it being a dime when I was a kid, the payphones. So, or was it 20 cents? Maybe it was 2 dimes. I don't want to age myself, but the 70s and 80s. Anyway, I get to the Love's. There's no Speedco there. It's just a Love's. But there's a McDonald's with Wi-Fi, so I send my daughter some messages on Messenger. And then I ask my DM if he wants me to go to the TA, which is further up the road. And he said yes, and I go to the TA. Oh God, I gotta catch up with all these. Oh, my dude! Don't quit on trucking. You're, Tim? Tim, right? I might be getting this all messed up. I knew it! I knew it! Yeah, I saw my dude. Oh, I got a story about that too. I'll get to that. Stay tuned. I got a story about after you left, what happened. Well, that's the title. That's the title of today's thing about High Hook almost killing me. It's not in the way you think. I'm not stupid. I always check for a high hook. I don't drive off with a high hook. It's a play on words, but it really isn't. I almost literally died because of a high hook. So, I go to get this PM done, this oil change. I drop my trailer in the spot. Mind you, the TA I'm at, you have to pay for parking. So, I paid for a spot for my trailer. And then I pulled my tractor in at noon, right into the garage. How long do you think my tractor was in there getting an oil change? An oil change, when I asked, they said it takes an hour and a half. How long? I'll give you all a minute to guess. Write your guesses below. All right, nobody wants to guess? I'll tell you. 21:30, 9:30 p.m. I finally got my tractor back. Now, any of y'all truckers know when your truck goes in for service at like a Speedco or a TA, you can't be in the tractor. You have to wait in the driver's lounge. Bro, that is 9.5 hours at a truck stop. Half the time I didn't have a phone because AT&T service didn't come up until the afternoon for me. And I made all kinds of bad decisions. And by that I mean I had Popeyes, I had Burger King, I ate a lot of garbage. Got my truck back. I did that creep because I didn't want to go on a drive line. So I did that 2-mile-an-hour creep back to where my trailer was, hooked back up. Started to rain, washed some of the sludge off my truck. And then I went to sleep. Woke up this morning, had my coffee, edited some video. The one thing I have to say about TA is cool. I'm at a Petro tonight, but it's the same basic thing. They don't have Wi-Fi here. Anyway, got this load assignment. It wasn't supposed to go till tomorrow. So I'm sitting, and I figure I'll do my reset because I've already now been at the TA for 24 hours. And my DM is like, no, go pick it up now. He always does that. Okay. Now, if I pick it up now, I could try to get out to Mississippi by tomorrow and drop it. And then this will count for this week. And this week has been bad for me, as you all know, because of the snowstorm I hit up by Lake Erie. So I go over to Quaker in wherever the hell that was, Waithville, VA. So, you know, I drove all the way up there, empty, and it was windy today. Driving an empty through the mountains in the wind is terrible. It's a terrible ordeal. I really thought a couple times that I was going to be like one of those videos where I go over. I pull in, and Don't Quit on Trucking is pulling out. He runs over, says what's up. We say what's up, fist bump. Tell him that this live video's coming out. You should check it out, blah, blah, blah. And it was cool to see him. It's always cool when you all come up to me. It's really neat. I really appreciate it, man. I gotta tell you, it feels good when you come up to me in person. As long as you're not trying to kill me, we're all good. Oh my God, I missed all these. Tom, so close. How did I miss all these comments? Hey there, good guy Glenn. I drive a truck. Been watching you. I like watching you. At least 8 hours minimum. You were right, Tom. Pete, you were off. Most of the time they were waiting for Western Express. That's not uncommon either. 20 on Pump 5. I love your name, dude. Okay. Hit that like button like Mike McClister Sr. says. Hit that like button. So, After Tom pulls out, the security guard's like, "What's that about?" I'm like, I'm famous. I'm a famous trucker." Looks like that, dude. I'm such a jackass, right? And he looks at me like I'm an idiot. And then he gives me my little piece of paper and tells me to go drop the trailer. And they got a shady operation over there. You gotta kind of drop it off by the curb, like you're parallel parking your trailer. So I drop it. The yard jockey gives me a hard time because he says I've dropped it in the wrong area. I was 20 feet away from where I was actually supposed to drop it. Whatever, bro. So I drop it. I go around the back of Quaker to pick up my trailer. I go back and I almost smash the trailer into the back of the tractor. Why? Because it's a high hook. Now listen, dude. I'm a smart dude. You know how I feel about the fifth wheel. Every time I might stop at the rest stop on the highway to go number 1 or number 2, and I always check my fifth wheel. Every time I stop, I check my fifth wheel. Every time. So I drop my sump and I wait for my sumps to I wait for my airbags to drop. Still not gonna do it. Right? Okay. I get out, and now I gotta crank up this trailer that's 44,000 pounds. I'm 50 years old. And that's how I almost got killed by a high hook. Dude, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I'm not kidding. I've had high hooks before and had to do this before, but this one almost killed me. Let's see, what do we have here? Listen, Brian, I'll do what I want. They like when I brush my beard. It's like part of my thing. I can't keep up, man. You all are sending mad stuff. Next time, get a yard jockey to lift it. Yeah, dude, except that the yard jockey was breaking my stones today over there. That yard jockey, he was something else, man. He came up to me with a stick in his hand, like some sort of weapon. I'm like, dude, calm down. Calm down, dude. Whatever. And then I hooked this thing. I stopped at that TA down the road. I weighed, adjusted my tandems. I thought about staying there because there was an IHOP there. Looking back, I should have stayed there. But instead, I drove down the road. And Oh, Ting Ting. You didn't know what a high hook was. Alright, sometimes these yard jockeys crank down the landing gear real far, which makes the trailer sit real high. So when you back in to couple, the kingpin, which goes into the locking jaws on your fifth wheel, will high hook over your fifth wheel, and then when you pull forward, it'll feel like you're locked in. It's a completely different feeling. How kids high hook and pull off and not know, I don't understand, because it's a different feeling. And you could see the way your trailer is. And then you have to go hook up your airlines, and you will see the kingpin sticking out. And you should always check your fifth wheel release. And you should get under the trailer and check your locking jaws. This is all stuff we learned in CDL school. What are you gonna do, dude? We wouldn't have all that, all those reels and, all those reels and TikToks for entertainment. Yeah, man, getting a high hook stinks. Especially when you have to crank up the trailer. And dude, sometimes it's easy, it's not so bad, but today, the trailer I had, even in low gear, it almost killed me. Start thinking about that. Like, what if I die in the truck? I know that's morbid. That's a long haul, Eric. Wait. Wait, Washington State or 100 texts from your DM asking why you're late to do your drop? No, I didn't, Ray. I mentioned that. I was going to talk about it. Right. I mentioned that in the video I dropped today. Good recall. Good callback. We're about to talk about that. Tom, you're going to train. Did you watch my video what Mario said about the guy who pulled a gun on him or tried to pull a gun on him? One of his students? I wouldn't train for this company right now. I wouldn't train, period. But that's me, dude. I'm like, I want to be alone. I got all my food stashed in the top bunk. I got everything set up the way I want it in my truck. I don't want a passenger. Sorry. I got Wilson. I'm training Wilson. All right. I wish these damn comments would just stay up. $2,600 miles. That is so awesome. All right, Ray, you brought it up. I've been saying no for 9 months now. How long you been with the company, Tom? They finally auto-enrolled you? What does that mean? Dude, I am not training. No, I don't want to hide chats. What do you mean they auto-enrolled you? They can't just make you train. Okay, Johnny. 1 year here, and what, they want to make you train? What if you say no? Or do you just say you'd say yes? Bro, I'm not training. I won't do it. I'll go back to working DoorDash and living in my Jeep. Someone enrolled you. Probably your DM. Someone asked about the miles. This week has been bad. We actually even got a message today on the Qualcomm that there isn't a lot of freight this week. So bear with them as we work through this. The freight report, if you follow that, it's not looking like it's going to be good until the end of the year. I can generally get 2,500 miles. It's not a lot, you know, OTR wise, but for this company, it's pretty decent, and I stay busy. You know, what can I say, dude? I get what I get. I keep moving, you know what I mean? I get what I get. And it's your first year, and I'm with a company that doesn't have a lot of freight right now. I think a lot of us don't have a lot of freight right now. You know, you could do 3,500 in a week if the freight market picks up. But I said that I would bring up the NYC trucker thing. Let's talk about the NYC trucker thing. But first, hit that like button if you haven't liked it already. Hit it already. Yeah, no. So here's the thing, dude. See, we keep getting distracted from what I want to talk about, but this is important stuff. I'm dry van. Western doesn't have a reefer division, although I hear that they might get one. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be comedy gold, watching some of these guys try to drive reefer. Can you imagine Western drivers trying to do a trailer washout? That's going to be great. Those trailers are going to smell like The Walking Dead, because they're not going to do trailer washouts. They can't even get tires fixed and lights that are out fixed. You think they're going to do a trailer washout? No, but if I go to Hirschbach, I'll do reefer. Right, Mike? Michael, that is 100% what I just said. So true, man. Western Express. That's great. I forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, so we're talking about miles. I notice. Right, we're gonna get to NYC. Let me just finish up with miles. I noticed that there's a trend with the people who say they don't get miles at Western Express. How about I just leave it at that? How about we stop? We just talk about any. If you're 5 minutes late for Walmart, you get rejected. Dry van or reefer. Walmart's terrible. But you know, I shouldn't say that. I've had good experience with Walmart. Listen, dude, I generally try to drop early. My problem is trying to drop early. I'm gonna try to drop this load tomorrow. It'll be like 2 days early. But it's a drop and hook. So like, I'm sure they'll want their stuff. It's not a live unload. Tom, that's just what I was gonna say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I've said it in the past. If you're not getting miles here, you're doing something wrong. You're pissing your DM off. You're asking to go home too much. You're complaining about too much. You're doing something wrong. You're sleeping till 8 o'clock at the truck stop. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm up at 03. I start running. I don't like vampire hours. I won't drive overnight, but 3 o'clock on is perfect because I get those 3 hours of darkness. And right when I start to feel my eyes getting heavy, the sun comes out and it's a whole new day. And then I'm done by 1600. I'm giving you my secret. Soon you'll all be doing it and there'll be no parking at 1600 either. Oh, I see rain up in the mountains. That's cool when you can see the rain. All right, NYC. Let's talk about NYC. Early bird gets the worm. Indeed. Let's talk about NYC. I got into a bit of a tiff on the Western Express group about the NYC thing. Listen, dude. As some of y'all know, I was a union guy for years. I did bridge work. Yada yada. And I've been on picket lines. I've been to strikes. You know. And there's this boycott, this trucker boycott in NYC. Whatever the reason it is for, I don't really know, because it's getting muddled. Something to do with Trump, but I think there's more to it than just that. And honestly, folks, do I think this boycott will do anything? Probably not. Most of the picket lines I was on and strikes did nothing. But what I didn't like was Ting Ting, you're a vampire girl? That's cool. I like vampire girls. OTR home weekly is strictly impossible. 100%, but yet there's kids who ask for it constantly. Jersey joke. What I found funny was these Western drivers in this group, they complain about the company so much, and it's always about them. It's always they're personally getting attacked. Their DM is personally out to get them. Oh, shoot. I just got a message from Wildbeard, and I can't check it because I can't. If I click off the screen, then I drop the live. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. NYC. So these guys, they all say, you know, we need to do something about Western Express. We need to do something about Western Express. But when someone brought up who's going to honor the boycott, they're all like, send me those loads, I'll go do them. These are also the same people who say that they'll never drive in New York because they're from somewhere else. I'm from there. The traffic is terrible. But who cares? I've sat in traffic. You sit in traffic. The thing I don't ever want to do, ever, is wind up in Manhattan with a 53, which is technically illegal. I've spoken to a couple cop buddies of mine, and it's like one of those things where you're not supposed to do it, but people do it. It is what it is, man. If you have to drive into New York City, you have to drive into New York City. I don't, you know, I understand why it could be detrimental. I mean, if you're in the outer boroughs, you're all right. But if you have to go into the inner boroughs, you're in trouble. Where am I that there's still sunlight? It's Virginia. Look, it's starting to rain over here. Oh, that rain from the mountain is coming this way. It's crazy. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, dark in Jersey, yeah. Well, we're still Eastern Standard Time, and I'm hundreds of miles west of you, so... once you get into Tennessee, that's when you go into Central Time. So listen. If you got to feed your family. So if and you're a company driver, if you're lease purchase or you're owner op, you can make those decisions to honor the boycott. When you're a company driver, it could mean your job. Now, if that doesn't matter, if you're dedicated to your convictions, then the job doesn't matter. And the way I look at it is, if you get fired because you stuck by the boycott and you tried to get a job at a mom and pop and you told them the reason why you were fired from your company was because there was a trucker boycott and you said you were going to hold the line and they let you go, that's probably like a good way to get hired. Just saying. Who said that they didn't want me to comb my beard while I'm on camera? Oh. Let me tell you something. This is a nervous tick. I don't know if y'all could see. There's a big bald spot here. My beard is uneven. This is where I pick at my beard while I'm driving. I do this, and I literally pull out. Yeah, but Jen, you're west too. You're all the way by Philly, so you got a couple minutes ahead of Brick, where Robert is. All that beard brushing. Let's see what that says. All that beard brushing goodness. That's right, Ting Ting. You know what's up. Brings me to my happy place. You know what I said yesterday? I was on the phone with my homeboy, and I got into my sleeping bag because I didn't turn the truck on because it was like in the 50s, right? And I zipped up my sleeping bag, and I felt so cozy in my sleeping bag. I do use beard oil. Barnegat. There you go. I knew it was somewhere around there. I was in my sleeping bag, and I said to him, I was going, it feels so good. And I said to him, you remember when we were kids? Because when we were kids, back in the 80s, you know, if you had a snow day from school, you didn't find out till right before school. Your mom would wake you up in the morning and tell you didn't have school because it's a snow day. And you got to stay in bed. And there was that feeling. That's the feeling I had yesterday in my sleeping bag. Man, if you could package that feeling, it's so awesome. Some of those ramps and docks and alleys in New York and New England were never designed. Yep, New England especially. I gotta tell you, I hate going to Massachusetts, dude. It's the same thing. Those roads were not designed for 53-foot trailers. Man. That warm and cozy beard feeling is so good. Got so many conversations going on at once. I was coming down in Massachusetts, getting on this highway, and I come to a stop sign. It's like a T intersection. Imagine trying to get on 95, but it's a T intersection, and you gotta go across into the third lane to make the turn in the 53, but cars are whizzing by doing 70 miles an hour. That's Massachusetts. That's how they set up their road. No, like, on-ramp. No ramp to get up to speed. None of that. It's just like, boom, you're on your own, son. So, NYC, same type of situation. You know, the way it's supposed to be set up is we're supposed to deliver to a DC. It's supposed to get picked up by smaller delivery trucks that bring it into the city. No, Ting Ting, they weren't. I mean, some of the places, like you go to Connecticut, I don't know. I've had some bad instances in Connecticut, too. I am wearing a tank top, but I always wear a tank top even if it's cold out because I'm in my tractor and I'm trying to be comfortable. Man, I do look like a homeless bum. Nikki Nightbreed was right. Massholes. I've been through. I have it dropped there, Robert. You're jinxing me right now. I drive through the Bronx. I've done some reels on it. If you follow my social media, if you follow my Instagram, Good Guy Glenn. I've done some reels from the Cross Bronx. It's terrible. They sent you to Brooklyn with water? Wait. Robert, you drive for Western? I may have known this already. I may have known that you drove for Western. Well, you got an extra $50. They paid you an extra $50 to deliver water into New York? This was Western Express. Wow, things have changed. Or your DM really liked you. That's right, Robert. You're driving local now. That's right. I remember now. I remember now. Anyway, so that's the thing with the boycott. I don't even know what's going on with it, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure out what happened with the AT&T phone outage. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. I think we talked about that too. What's not true? What's not true? Oh, okay. So anyway, what the hell was I saying? Ting Ting, welcome. No, yeah, I know they've always boycotted it. That's not what I'm saying. There's an actual, like, boycott, like, in the news right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all that. I don't, it's getting crazy out there, man. This freight thing is getting, like, crazy. And, like, the Biden administration wants to act like we're in some sort of recovery, but we're not, because freight is way down. And freight is down because people aren't buying anything. Because if things were booming, we would be driving like crazy. And we're not. Hey, who was it who's complaining that I was eating in the video? I'm gonna eat some Fritos. You know why? Because I'm here. Bonehead Truckers. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I do watch because I have to tell. Here's what I don't like about Bonehead Truckers. Sometimes those videos the videos on Bonehead Truckers, they're all funny. But sometimes it's sad because instead of recording someone struggling, how about you get out and help? There you go, Simon. I've helped a couple people now. Now, I've told you in the past, I don't like to do that because I just feel like I'm a bad instructor. I know how to correct something when I'm in the truck, whether it be right or to the left. And then when you're outside the truck, you kind of might foul that up. You know what I mean? Going to the right or to the left, you mean to, you know what I mean? And you correct them the wrong way. I've gotten a lot better at it, and I've helped a couple of dudes out. You know, I'm no instructor. I'm no, like, master trucker. I'm just an idiot like the rest of y'all. I'm just trying to figure this out. But if I can help, like, if I can guide you where you won't hit the trailer or hit a tractor, I'll give you the best advice I can, you know what I mean? But to watch someone mess up, anticipating that they're going to mess up, and almost willing them to mess up so you get a great, funny video, they are really good, those chili cheese Fritos, but they will give you heartburn. So that's what I don't like about Bonehead Truckers, but otherwise, some of those videos are darn funny. There's a lot of that too. There's a lot of girls getting beat up on the internet, and I always think that same thing, like, who filmed this and didn't, like, beat up the guy who was beating up a girl? Your way stations have, vending machines? Our way stations are like barren wastelands. And there's nothing but cops there. You guess the answer is no, dare. I didn't see your question. You have to understand what this looks like on my end. It's a disaster. South Dakota is a barren wasteland. Oh, so I'm at... And I can't go back. Shh. Oh, here you go. Do you ever have the time to go to the gym? Okay. Those of you who will know, I used to be jacked in 2019. I had hernia surgery, and I was out of the gym for a minute. And then the pandy happened. I couldn't go back to the gym, and I just became a fat guy, 250-pound fat guy. And now I'm down to 180. And the gym, if I ever get back off OTR, I'll hit the gym. But I don't have time right now to go to the gym. I'm driving. They never took your health into consideration. And if you want to be healthy, kind of going to OTR is like not the move. And I think about that every day because I'm a pretty healthy person. I'm into like some wacky stuff. You go back into my videos before I was into trucking that are on this channel. And, you know, I was into grounding, where you walk around barefoot, you know, and I ate really healthy, you know, and now that's just not a thing. Grounding is awesome, Michael. So I look healthy. I eat a yogurt and a banana every day. I try to have canned vegetables on the truck, but I have a lot of terrible things. Like I eat like beef ravioli out of a can to try to save money. And it's better than McDonald's, I figure, but it's really not good for you. And anything sustainable in the truck is not good for you because it's processed food. I have a salad in my little mini refrigerator that I just had at the truck stop, and it's enough for me to eat probably for the next 2 days. So now that I have a little mini fridge, I can hold on to that. But yeah, I try to eat a yogurt and have a banana every day. Johnny Phillips. Fried chicken and steak does rock. Oh, God. Johnny Phillips. They apparently used to let drivers on the company Wi-Fi, and now they don't. And I've asked my DM, and I don't know if he's blowing smoke up my butt or what, but he says he can't even get that password. So, I can't get the password. It's stupid, right? You would think that they would let us have it. But then I look at this company, and I understand why we can't. It's a shame to say, but it is. Like, when you look around, it's terrible. People be doing stupid things. Yeah, streaming porn. That's what I actually heard is the problem. They all hire anyone. Everyone wants to, like, label the one. They always want to label, you know, Western Express, of course, gets labeled. Totally understandable. They hire idiots. So does Swift. So does all the companies. They all hire new hires, and they weed them out. And I really believe with the training getting less and less time, that, So, Jenny, the tablet thing. I have a tablet. I don't know when this started, because back in the day I had unlimited data. Now, the phone company's telling me that they have a 100 gig cap on your data, no matter what, that they don't do unlimited anymore. I don't know. I've begged them. I told them I'd be willing to pay for it. It's not a thing. You cannot get unlimited data through AT&T, at least. And I've tried to go other places, and it seems like they're all basically the same. Oh, son of a gun. It is the second chance aspect of it is problematic. It is problematic. You got a lot of felons working for the company that got their CDL through like a felon release program. And some of them are legitimately trying to change their life and turn their life around. And much respect to those people. I meet them all the time. I meet Western drivers all the time and we talk. And I've met a couple of felons out of prison who got their CDL and they're doing well. And then you have people who just, they take the program and they have no intention on changing. Nomad Internet, I've heard about that. I've got to look into it more. I know you've been with Sprint, Jen. It is what it is, man. I don't really... All the companies are basically the same. I mean, they're not the same, but they're messed up in their own way. They all have their issues. So you just have to, like, what can you put up with is really the question. And if you could put up with some of the mess, then it isn't that big an issue. So I totally agree with that, Ting Ting. And I say that all the time when I meet convicts. Go to the doctor. That's funny, Dare. We'll get to that in a minute. Ting Ting, I said the same thing. If you do your time for your crime, you should be able to integrate back into society. And I think that's the problem in this country, is we set people up for failure over and over and over again. And that's what creates a revolving door system in this country. Tom, go say hi to those kids. Safe travels, bro. Keep the rubber side on the ground, brother. I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for coming up to me. I love it when you all come up and say what's up. It makes me feel like this is like worth doing, man. It really does. I'm glad that you're all interested in what an idiot like me has to say. Because that's how I feel. Like I'm just an idiot like the rest of us. Someone asked about the doctor. How does the doctors work? It doesn't work. Some of these truck stops have doctor's offices you could go to. When I had COVID when I was out here, I just tested myself and rolled on. I told my DM I had COVID so he would know if I was limiting my hours, what I was doing. But I pretty much drove my clock, you know, and I took my time, and I was okay. I made it through. Get back to the VA. Nah. They keep calling me. I gotta do this. I'm out here. I'm doing this. There's another step after this, and then when I get to it, I get to it. That frustrates me with America. General healthcare doesn't seem to be a priority. Well, I'll be honest with you, my dude. These doctors aren't exactly cool. I mean, if you look at what happened with the Pandy, how could we even trust them? You know what I mean? My doctor at the VA was honest with me through the Pandy, but he always had to whisper. You know, we were alone in the room, and he'd look back and forth. And he goes, I can't even say it because YouTube will pull the video down. I can't even tell you what the dude said to me. But that's why I like that doctor. You don't trust the experts. Healthcare is all about the money. You don't think that they could figure out a cure for cancer? They make so much money keeping you sick. Man, we're getting into territory now that YouTube doesn't like. Alright. I'll let you all talk amongst yourselves about this one. They have cut my videos for this. Johnny, I used to think the same thing about the cure for cancer, but wouldn't Steve Jobs have been able to save himself? He's got all the money in the world. Still got him. Johnny, why is your message restricted? See, it's starting, guys. Guys, I don't want to sound crazy, but we have to stop talking about this. They'll shut this video down. I'm not kidding. They will. How about those local sports teams? Man, don't think I don't want to talk about this. If you ever meet me in person, we'll talk about it. I just can't do it here. I've learned my lesson about this on Facebook and YouTube. These videos will disappear. Johnny, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I wish we could talk about it. I wanted to do more on Rumble, but bro, Rumble is so not as user-friendly. It's easier to upload videos. It's hard to say. Rumble, I've been trying to get something going on Rumble. I have a channel over there. But, let's face it, a lot of you won't go over to Rumble. Elon's got something going on now where he wants to destroy... Or maybe we shouldn't even talk about that either. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Elon on a Google platform with everything that happened this week. Discord. Truckers don't want to use Discord. Y'all don't know? Ray, you don't know what Rumble is? Is that like serious or... Rumble is like a YouTube alternative. Only you're allowed to speak freely on Rumble. They don't censor videos. So when I put the soda in the refrigerator, the humidity took the label off of it, which is probably why they give it free to the truckers at the distribution center, because the labels are probably defective, because they're not going to give us free stuff unless there's something wrong with it. So yeah, it looks like I'm drinking out of my pee bottle. Don't ever do that. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, we covered the pee-pee water. You can't talk about a lot of things on here because, God, this sunset is beautiful. I feel blessed. You can't talk about a lot of things on the YouTubes. This truck stop is getting full. I always get weirded out. Hey, Glenn, I'm looking at the weather and hope you're not in the Ohio River Valley. I'm south of there and I'm heading to Mississippi. I'm heading through Tennessee into Mississippi tomorrow. No, I have the channel set where it's not made for kids. Believe me, I'm on top of those settings. It's just the way they are, man. And they're not consistent either, because sometimes the videos are kosher and sometimes they're not. And a lot of times I put them up for a review. and they will lift any restrictions on it, but it's just a process, man. So Mississippi is the furthest I'm going to be with this company, it seems. It seems the way Western does it is if you're out of Richmond or Nashville, they keep you regional on the east, and their terminals on the west coast handle everything west of the Mississippi. But I'm hearing a lot more drivers I know out of my terminal are getting loads going further west. Man, Phoenix is awesome. What are we talking about, Copilot? Because you know I have a thing about Copilot. Don't always listen to the Copilot. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, dude. I run multiple GPSs, and I have an agreement with my DM, although he'll probably be mad that I'm broadcasting this because he said he didn't tell me, if you know what I mean, wink, wink. But, like, after what happened with Copilot last week, I won't be. I have Rand McNally, and it's not cool either. Sometimes it messes me up and takes me to the wrong place. If you could do it all over again, I love these questions. Hold on. If I could do it all over again, would you still go into trucking? Would you have started with Western Express? I miss it a lot. Would I still go Western Express? Well, you know, if you know, I initially went to Warner. I had a situation over there, and now I'm at Western Express. My DAC is clean. I have nothing on my abstract, so I technically could go somewhere else, but I'm just sticking it out with Western because I got a lot of friends that I went to trucking school with. Why'd you quit welding? I never knew. Why did I quit welding? Okay, we'll talk about that. Why did I quit welding? Because unlike everything else in the world, as I went from welding job to welding job, I made less and less and less money. Because, I mean, this is getting into the weeds here, and I don't know how YouTube feels about this, but it seems like I was getting hired by companies who would then give me 2 gentlemen south of the border to train, to teach, and then in a couple of months, I got my last check, and they had them working for minimum wage. That's why I stopped welding. But then, when I was doing bridge work, I was welding. But I started to get too old for that. Once I hit 40, I started having to have surgeries. I had hernias. I had, I don't want to pull up my shirt and show you the scars, but I've had to have some surgeries because I've tore some muscles. My body just was starting to say, enough. It's a young man's game, dude, and it really stinks getting old. And I don't think going to the gym helped. Going to the gym helped a bit. I'm not going to ever say that. Keeping yourself fit is very important, but it also can cause problems as well because you start to get hurt at the gym if you're working a physical job. But it's definitely good to stay strong, and it's definitely good to get an exercise routine in. But I got a little bit too big, a little bit too into the gym, and I got hurt. And I messed myself up pretty good. That's a whole nother story if you want to start talking about Anavar and testosterone and stuff like that. Would I do Western Express again? I don't know. I'm here now. I'm doing it. Here's what I like about Western Express. Like I said, man, My trucking school was affiliated with Warner in some way. That's as much as I'll say. Like, whatever, dude. We trained on Warner equipment. And it was intensive, man. I was in CDL school for like over 2 months. And that's not... I was one and done. I never failed anything. Every test I took, I won and done. I never had to go back and retest. It's just the way my school worked. They were very intensive. We learned how to be truckers. We did a lot of backing. We did a lot of stuff that's useful out here. It seems like a lot of kids take 2-week classes that learn basically how to keep this truck going straight down the road past the test, and that's it. You're done. 2 weeks? Bro, I couldn't imagine taking 2 weeks and coming out here and trying to do this job. But anyway, I got a lot of friends that are doing this. I talk to a lot of truckers. All these companies got their problems, man. The thing I like about Western is all they care about is, did you drop? Did you pick up? Did you drop? Did you pick up? Did you drop? That's it. If you do those things and you do them efficiently, they kind of leave you alone with everything else. You know what I mean? So, here I am. I've been getting pay raises here. They just keep giving me more money. I don't know like what it is. They give me loads and they give me more money. Maybe they want to keep me around. I'm starting to believe, and I've talked to other drivers about this, I do believe that they've got either an algorithm or they track you through, you know, your miles and what you get done, and they put you in categories. That's how, this is conspiracy theory. I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just saying that's how it seems. It seems that if you somehow cause trouble in the company, you won't get miles, you'll sit. So the people who you see online from Westerns complaining and sitting, there's more to that story. Just like the people who were at the Days Inn at the terminal who said that they haven't gotten a trainer in 2 weeks, there's more to that story. Or that they haven't gotten a truck in a month, there's more to that story. Because there's just more to the story. Man, I miss all these comments. I'm sorry that there was just some silence there. OTR is awesome. It just isn't for everyone. Yeah, no, that's 100% true. It's a lot easier now than when I first started. I definitely wasn't sure if I could even make it out here in the very beginning. It's a huge undertaking to get used to, especially like if you like grew up, especially if you're accustomed to, like, I was a dad, you know, I was around, and now I'm out here doing this, and you gotta get accustomed to this. I wish I would have done this when I was 27 years old. You know, I wish I was 20 years younger. This job would be awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to Lena's play. I already put in the off time for it. How many... Oh, we could talk about this, the training, because I got an interesting message on Instagram yesterday. I did, 2 weeks with my trainer? 2 weeks. 2 weeks to drive an 80,000-pound vehicle full of someone else's freight up and down America's highways. And they think 2 weeks. And I didn't, you know, that's it? Okay. we started. So anyway, this kid hollers at me yesterday on Insta, and he was asking me questions about Western, and I said, let's hold up. First of all, why are you coming to Western? And he goes, it's got the shortest training time. I'm like, it does. You pretty much won't get any training at all over here. Why wouldn't you go to like Warner if you've got a clean record and he has no experience and a clean record? So go to Warner. Do 5 weeks, do 6 weeks, learn something. He doesn't want to. He just wants to. He doesn't want to be with a trainer. I don't want to be with a trainer either, dude. The trainer is the worst part of OTR. Being cooped up in the box with another dude or whoever, another trucker, stinky trucker, cooped up in this little box. It's okay when you're by yourself. That's why I'll never be a trainer. Never. We talked about this earlier. Man, I don't know. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Why is it not showing me my messages again? I can't deal with this. Believe me, if you know me personally, I'm not the type of person, if I don't like something, I'm gonna like change it. Hey Tim, so you're behind in the video. That's why I'm getting these comments. Yes, and training sucks, especially when you have to. So yeah, I mean, in Warner, it's all about like if you're ready to go out. You know what I mean? But all these companies do the same thing, man. They'll team drive you. They'll drive out your 11 every day. That's what my trainer did. I drove out my 11 every day. I never learned how to properly use my clock. You know how I learned? On YouTube. Asking other truckers. Like what they did. You know? I never was taught set aside at least an hour and a half to look for a safe place to like park the truck. What happened? Lots of good drivers get jammed up. Oh God. So yeah, like the videos that people put up and whatnot, you know, and Western gets a bad name, but like it's the same thing, dude. I don't Western is just another trucking company trying to make money. You know what I mean? They're gonna take in as many people as they can. And it's cheap labor, and you get some experience here. And 90% of them are going to not be in trucking in a year. That's a high percentage, but that's the statistic. That's the truth. It's like 90% of people get a CDL and don't continue on with trucking. I'm not going to be high and mighty. I'm not going to say I'm going to be one of those 10%. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in a year. But right now, I'm out here. I'm doing it. I'm doing the best I can. And it's not so bad. A lot of companies hire you. Warner will take you in a heartbeat. If you want to do flatbed, definitely go to Melton. Melton seems to pay the most. $100 tarping fee, and they pay 52 cents a mile starting. That's crazy. Johnny, something happened that you had to heal? I'll pray for you, Johnny. I hope you feel better. I don't know what the problem is. If you don't want to say it here, you could private message me. Eye in the sky. There's companies out there that will hire you. Do you still work for Western Express? Yeah. Cody, I work for Western Express. Western Express is what it is, man. I keep saying this to people. It's just like anything else. The industry has crazy turnover. It's really no joke. People underestimate how trucking actually is. That's what I said. That's how, like, I started this. Like, when I refocused this channel into trucking. Well, Cody, what do you consider money? I mean, I see. Here's the thing: people keep saying it's like I was always told. You know, I have family that had a trucking company. The trucking company's long since gone. Otherwise, I'd be working there. But my family had a trucking company in the 70s and 80s. I got a lot of inside scoop. You're never gonna make money your first year, and even your second year isn't gonna be great in trucking. Everyone follows these trucking gurus videos and they're like, you're gonna make $100,000 your first year trucking. No, you're not, dude. You'd be lucky to make 50. You know, you'll be lucky to make 2,000, 2,500 miles a week. Well, right now with the way freight is. See, I don't understand, Cody. Like, I've said over and over again, that hasn't been my experience with this company. But I do see it happening to people. So, like, I'm curious as to, like, why there are certain people like myself and a few others that I speak to who aren't having those problems. My DM keeps me busy, man. I thought for sure when I got this message today that freight is extremely low this week for Western, that I'd be sitting and maybe doing a reset. And instead, he's stacking me up with work, sending me further and further west than I've ever been before. That's right, Johnny. You have told me this. Right, you told me you had gotten into a car accident. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm praying for you, man. I hope you feel better. Cody, why are you coming back to Western? Have you worked for another company other than Western? 2 a.m. Pimp. Love the name. Trucking is great. Trucking can be great. Western Express is the Raiders of the trucking industry. You want to talk about that? We'll talk about that real quick. Why am I a Raiders fan? Because when I was a little boy in the late 70s, early 80s, the Raiders always went to the Super Bowl. They were a winning team back then, and they had guys like Ken Stabler. Ken Stabler used to threaten the guys, the TV reporters on like Worldwide of Sports, threatening to kill them. So, like, there was something awesome about that. You know what I mean? They were just like the bad boys of the NFL. They were all crazy. Oh, God, I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up, folks. You're bombarding me. Thank you for your prayers. No problem, Johnny. I'm always willing to pray for someone. Building a good working relationship with your dispatcher. 100% true, dude. You fight with your dispatcher. Constantly say no. He's going to start saying no to you. So sometimes you just got to suck it up and say yes. I've done a lot of things that generally people would say I'm stupid for doing. And my dispatcher remembers that and hooks me up. I don't know how the CSA violations even work anymore. I'll be honest with you. I mean, not getting pulled over is a key to not getting a CSA, you know, and not doing anything stupid out here will not get you a CSA. 100% true on that one. Who fired? Oh, Kelly Camp, but they fired me because I can't read a map or a trip plan, and my trainer Did not train me right, but I haven't been in a truck since. Well, trip planning is the whole part of this game, dude. I mean, you have to trip plan. If you don't trip plan and you follow Copilot, you're gonna get lost. I did a video where Copilot wanted me to go 174 miles away from where I was actually picking up from. You know, you have to plan your trip. You don't have to do it on an actual atlas. You could do it on a tablet and look at the map of where you're going and plan where you're going to stop for the night, where you're going to get fuel, where you're going to take your breaks. I mean, there are people who think you don't have to do that. You do have to do that. Otherwise, you find yourself in Atlanta with an hour left on your clock. Guess what? There ain't no truck stops in Atlanta. Then you're sleeping on the shoulder. And you can't sleep in Walmart parking lot in the Atlanta area either. Ask me how I know. Oh, the cops told me. That's how I know. Trip planning is the most important part. I'm OTR. I'm not dedicated. I don't know much about the dedicated routes that Western has. Regional might have been the problem, Cody. Just go OTR and don't do any regional nonsense. Cody, may I ask, were you asking to go home every weekend? That seems to be a common problem with guys who aren't getting miles here. They want to go home all the time. I never go home. I mean, I go home for the important stuff. I'm going home in March. Yeah, crunch, crunch, crunch. That's right. Yeah, I think it's because you were regional. I don't know how that works. I'm all over the place. No dip with the chips. Nope. I stay out until there's a reason not to stay out. Like, my kids want me to come home, I come home. I'm talking to my daughter, I talk to my son. They have them at the truck stop. Clown College. What time is it? That's what I'm saying. I'm home for the big things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long ago you were with Western, Cody. We got cameras in the trucks now and all that nonsense. Almost 7. I don't know what that means. It's almost 7. You're telling me the time? Yeah, I do have to go home soon. Pretty girl truckers. I don't know what that means. Pretty girl truckers. There are a couple out there. Would you say this is like a remedy for being OTR? Correspondence and interaction with us? 100%, dude. Hell yeah. This is like forming a community so like we could reach out and like talk. And yeah, I get lonely, man. I make no secret about any of that, dude. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Like some of these YouTubers, they act like they're like so hard and like they're outlaw truckers and this, that, the other thing. Bro, I'm a human being like the rest of you, dude. It gets lonely out here. I talked to Wilson, and those of you who don't know, Wilson's a giant stuffed Sasquatch that sits in my passenger seat. And I talked to him. He's my buddy out here. Yeah, I don't you do get lonely out here. It's a thing. You can get lonely out here. Truckers kill themselves. Oh, can't say that on YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. Truckers unalive themselves all the time. And it's a shame. No one should ever feel that alone. You know what I mean? And dude, if you ever see me at a truck stop or at a DC or whatever, and you want to talk about something, you want to get something off your chest, and we'll pray over it, and I won't judge you or nothing, because I know what it's like, dude. I know what it's like when times are hard. Times can get hard out here, even if you're doing well. There's gonna come times where you get burnt out. One of my biggest mentors, who taught me a lot about trucking, he was with England, CR England, for 7 or 8 years. He loved it there, but he got burnt out on OTR. He just got burnt out on the road. He never said no. He never came home, and he got burnt out on the road. But that's a long time to go before burnout, dude. 7 years? It's a long time. You can make a lot of money in 7 years. I mean, it's tough. You have to make sacrifices to be out here. You can't be home every weekend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if someone told you you could, but you always can't. I mean, some guys can. They have dedicateds. That's fine. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think you should be home. If you have young children, you should be home. You should try to do regional. You should try to do dedicated. I'm not saying what I'm doing is the right way to do it. I'm just saying there's benefits to doing it the way I'm doing it. They know I'm not going anywhere, so they just keep piling loads on me. But they're not going to give you... They're not going to... If it's hard for them to manipulate your schedule because you have to go home, they just won't give you a load because they might not have anything that's going the way you have to go home. It's just the way the freight is. I don't ask to go home a lot. My kids are older. I mean, I'm lucky. If you have young kids, maybe reconsider doing OTR. But there's guys who do it, man. Wildbeard does it. Wildbeard's a great father. He is an awesome father. He's the type of dad I wish I had. You know what I mean? Very attentive, loves his son. His son is so adorable. And he's home, but he's dedicated. He's dedicated on the Tyson account, and he goes home to see his kid, and that's his priority. And much respect, man. He's doing the right thing. And if you need to be home for your kids, you're doing the right thing. But you need to find the company that's going to jibe up with what you need. And that's probably going to be dedicated. It's probably going to be reefer, to be honest with you. And, my buddy, he's dedicated Abbott. He works for Abbott. He delivers for Abbott, for Warner. He's dedicated. He knows his schedule. His schedule is always the same. So he knows what's up. He's out for 3, home for a week. Or I forget how many days he's home for. But he goes out for 3. But he's got no kids. If you have kids and you could figure out a way, figure it out, man. All the power to you. I believe you need to be there for your kids. Maybe that's why you see so many older guys going into trucking, because they've done the raising the kids. Their kids are out of the house now. Now you have the time to come out here and dedicate to this. But that doesn't mean you still don't get lonely. You do. You get lonely. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being lonely. Like I said, man, and I extend this out to anyone. You reach out to me, and I guess you could do that through Instagram. Good Guy Glenn on Instagram. I post lots of trucking stuff, so you'll find the right account. And you can reach out to me, and I'm like, man, if you got a problem, you need me to pray over you. You need you know, you just need someone to like talk to or whatnot, I'll talk to you, bro. I'll talk to you. You know, people look out for me all the time, and I'm willing to extend it. Now, listen, there's a limit to it. I can't be on the phone with you until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I won't be able to get back to you right away because I'm driving. But I will always try to answer you. You know what I mean? To the best of my abilities, dude. Like, listen, if I get overwhelmed, I get overwhelmed. But what I'm saying is, don't ever give up. Don't ever lose hope. Don't ever think that the feelings you have are only you. A lot of people have a lot of messed up feelings all the time, not just in trucking, in general. Sometimes we get a little bit lost. But like the videos I'm working on right now are from that storm we had 2 weeks ago now. I'm so far behind on the videos, the long format videos. You know, the other videos, the vlog videos I put out pretty frequently. The day started off a nor'easter. By the time I got by North Carolina, it was a sunny, beautiful day. And that's how it is. Sometimes you drive through the storm. And that storm isn't going to last forever. It's only going to be for a little while. And then the sun's going to come back out, and it's going to be beautiful weather once again. So in the middle of the storm, hunker down, pray to God for guidance, and he'll give it to you. And this is the truth, man. And you have to have a little bit of faith in whatever it is you believe in. However you find your spiritual higher power, pray to that higher power. Ask for guidance. Like I said, you're not always going to get the answers you think you're going to get. But you will get answers. They're just going to come in a different way. Because you don't always get what you want. But you get what you need. You know, and I'm going to pray for all of you. And I'm going to pray that all of you hit the like button before you punch out of here. And that's just a joke. But you got to love your family, man. Remember, your family is important. Put your family first. Before trucking, before anything else. And if I needed to be home for my kids, if something happened with my kids, that's it. Goodbye, Western Express. I'm going home. I'll figure it out. I'll drive DoorDash. I'll go back to real estate. I'll do whatever it is to be there for my kids. So your family is very important. So love your family. Love your God. Say your prayers. Always do your pre-trip. Take your vitamins. Stay safe. Pull over if you're tired. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe. We do these lives every so often when I have time. I had some time. I'm doing it. And I look forward to seeing you all. God bless you all. Have a great night. Be safe.